It's like we never left. New year.
Back, baby.
They're back, baby.
I mean, I miss you guys.
Back,
Reunited, and it feels so good.
And he's back. Yes, they're back.
It's the Flame Central podcast. I'm powered by Alcova Mortgage. I'm telling you, I'm fired up. I really needed a recharge. Working 4 days a week has just exhausted me at the end of last year.
Joe and I were saying it was good to have a break from you for a while, and so now we come back rested and recharged.
I know.
We love you, Emily. You're special. By golly, people like you.
We really hope that all of you had a great and Merry Christmas and those New Year's resolutions set. We'll talk about those in just a minute.
You know, he survived the snowstorm.
It's true.
Oh,
He ran. You know what?
Some good stories.
You know what? There's an old saying. Saying in sports.
Go ahead,
There's an old saying in sports. Okay, and Matt Warner just takes it to his family, right? Because he's a family guy. He's leading, and the old
and
saying
just putting him into the
harm's way.
The old saying in sports, you got to run to the roar.
Oh, that's good.
You know, you don't run away from the roar. You run to the roar.
Right.
Right. And Matt Warner took his family
right into the teeth
of a winter storm.
Yeah.
He didn't drive away from it.
No.
He drove into it.
Yeah.
And we remember you sent the one text.
It was a terrible decision.
You sent the text.
Well, Joe keeps texting me. I'm driving white knuckling it through the heart of the Midwest.
Do you remember this? I saw it today.
And Joe's just fired off texts in a group chat.
You were the one texting
No,
him.
but then this is funny. It's funny because I was texting like crazy. And then he's like, I'm like, what do we look? What's it looking like? Blah, blah. And then you sent a picture text to the baby Jesus. Remember from the story? Right?
You guys were texting on your own chain. And then meanwhile, Matt, in Christmas vacation, he's between the semi's tires.
Right. Tires, Clark and then you sent the text picture a little like it was like beside a macaroni bowl or something, whatever.
Oh
and then I said, don't text him. He's trying to drive.
Right. Meanwhile, Joe's been blowing me up.
So just to refocus here, I mean, it doesn't take long for us to get off the tracks, like I said. But Jamey Chadwell is coming on the show today. We're finally getting to talk to him. Some great conversation ahead. But first, New Year's resolutions. You know, I have like a love-hate relationship with this because my New Year's resolution this year is to be on time for work. And when I showed up late to our meeting.
I thought resolutions were supposed to be realistic.
Realistic. Realistic resolutions.
I walk into our meeting late yesterday, and everyone just looked at me and they're like, better luck next year.
Yeah. Well, we're shooting for 2024. Yeah.
So do you guys have anything that
Joe,
you're shooting
do you have a
for?
resolution?
You know, I said this to my our operations manager in our office over there at Alcova Mortgage, Zach Melder. We all know Zach.
Yeah, Zach.
And I said, Zach, my resolution this year is to be a little bit more cranky.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm gonna be a little more cranky. You know what? Because I'm way too nice of a guy.
You are. People take advantage
and
of
then
you.
they start taking advantage of me, and
We do it
don't
all the
worry,
time.
Joe's okay with it.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm just gonna have to start being a little cranky. And I said, and he said, well, Joe, then I'm just gonna stand up to you. And I said, that's probably not a good idea.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good. I liked it. Let's see how this one goes. About March, I think this one could come to a head.
I know.
I'm too nice of a guy. I won't last very long.
How about mine was 5 days.
I don't do resolutions. I'm like, if you're gonna do it, why do you wait until now to decide? You should have done it.
Such a Warner.
Like why?
This is such
classic Warner.
It's like
Warner.
people are like, oh,
I am so perfect. I don't need to change.
But it's like, oh, I'm gonna start going to the gym. I'm like, well, you knew you should have done that in November. Why are you waiting until January 1st?
Okay.
So I was like, whatever.
Two Grinches have continued to
not a big resolution.
Follow into the new year. So I'll be here to keep you guys, happy and not just miserable like these two guys.
I won't be more cranky. I'm gonna be nice.
Okay, let's just change the subject and get to this conversation with Coach Chadwell. The moment we have all been waiting for. Finally, Coach Jamey Chadwell is here to chat with us. It's not like you haven't had anything going on, right?
Not
Coach?
much.
Yeah,
Not much. Talk about, it's been exactly a month since your press conference. Talk about how much of a whirlwind it's been for you.
Yeah, it's been crazy. Somebody asked me if I was drinking out of a fire hose, and I said no, it's more like a fire hydrant. Because it's just everything's coming at you. And as soon as you get here, you're trying to figure out the lay of the land. You're really trying to, recruiting, and then you're observing, the team and all that. So it's been a lot going on, and but it's been a good month, to start hopefully laying the foundation that you want to have. And today's a big day. Got a lot of the coaches in, and so we're ready to move forward.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask about. You that process as well. You talk about signing day, just the newness of the job, and then kind of trying to figure out, I'm sure, behind the scenes, your staff and what that looks like. You bring a lot of guys with you from Coastal. Do you feel like that will just kind of give okay, I can take a deep breath. I know so many of you guys. I know how you work and how you operate. That will kind of help this transition kind of maybe I don't know if smooths out the right word, but make it a little bit easier now?
Well, I do believe anytime you have some consistency in who you are and the people that you know, I think that helps tremendously. When you go to a new place, there's all things that we're all learning. And then the defensive staff is a lot of newer people as well that I'm learning. But when you have people in place, especially in recruiting, whether that's chief of staff, offense, which is an offensive guy, definitely it helps. And we've been together, a lot of those guys, we've been together almost a decade.
Yeah.
And so they know us probably better than we know our wives almost sometimes, because we spend more time together. Don't put that on the air. Right. And so, but that will help. That will help from a transition, from just knowing what you look for, knowing how you operate, what your culture is going to look like. Those guys know what the expectations are, and that helps you hopefully have a better transition, but also a smoother one.
Jack Curtis staying on staff.
What was that process like? Because, sometimes coaches we're cleaning, I'm starting from scratch. What were those conversations like? How did that end up working out, keeping Jack Curtis, friend of the show, by the way, around?
Yes, he knows about the
I think it's important. I think it's important anytime you go somewhere, especially when they've had success. I think it's important to, hey, why'd they have success? Who's been a part of that? And can you keep some people in key places that will help with some continuity? They know the players. And obviously, Jack being a co-coordinator of the defense has been really, really good the last several years. And I thought it was important defensively to try to keep a couple people, if possible, that can help. One, hey, the players know them. Two, we can keep the scheme going. And he was somebody that came highly recommended, and looking forward to working with him and what he brings to our table.
Now, I'm not sure if you know this, but he is apparently an accomplished Cajun chef.
Yeah.
So just might.
He looks skinny, so I don't know if that's a truth.
Yeah.
You might
Don't trust a skinny coach.
Yeah, investigate that a little bit and see. We haven't seen it personally, but that's what we hear.
Oh, yeah. Coach, have you had an opportunity to, you obviously saw the bowl game, but an opportunity to dig into the film with any of the players, the sort of the team that you have and what it looks like, and then also the pieces of the puzzle that some guys leaving, transfer portal, new guys coming in. Have you had an opportunity much to dig into, sort of look at your overall team?
Well, I did observe practice, and then I was at the bowl game. The bowl game, you're more so really just looking, for me, I was looking for attitude and effort, because, I might know, hey, they're running a pass route, but I don't know, was the quarterback supposed to look there? Was he supposed to go somewhere else? So more just observing attitudes, effort, some of those things. But really, we've spent the majority of our time in, all right, who'd we lose? Who's in the portal? Who's not in the portal? What do we need to fill? So we're working diligently on that to try to make sure we can get as many players in here by school starting here in the next week and a half. And so that's been a lot of work that we've been doing over the Christmas holidays and break. And then also talking to your current team and telling them, hey, this is what we're going to be about. And so our coaches today, we've started reaching out to those players and that are on our team and introducing them to new coaches, because they're going through a lot of change, obviously. And it's anytime you go through change, it's challenging. And so we want to make sure that they feel good about what we're doing and who we're bringing in. But the most focus has been on trying to hold on to the ones we have. Right. And then secondly, how can we help reinforce what we lost?
What are your thoughts on the transfer portal?
Well, it's here to stay, so it really doesn't matter what I think about it.
Very true.
And so I hope we can continue to clean it up. As far as I'm all for them having opportunities to be able to go. I think it's too long of a window, personally, that they have too much time to figure out what they want to do. And so I'd love to see that be shortened a little bit. And also I think from a coaching standpoint, I think what would help is if they could sign something. Once they go in the portal, they don't sign anything to say, hey, I'm coming to Liberty. It'd be great if we could sign something so, hey, they got some skin in the game as well. But it's part of it now, and you can complain about it or you can embrace it. And so we better embrace it if we're going to try to be successful with it.
What you talk about your new staff and kind of just getting to know the players here these next few weeks. Is that kind of like objective number one for you in the near term? And then how important or more important does spring ball feel for you in a situation like this as opposed to when you've been at someplace 4, 5, 6 years?
Well, I think anytime you take over in a new place, the very first time you do spring, the very first time you do anything, it's important because it's the first time they really are feeling what your vision is and what you want to do. And so this spring is very important. And the first few weeks of January, you're setting your tone. Now, the challenge with that is the coaches are on the road recruiting, so they're not there. And myself, I'm gone as well. And so your strength staff and the people that are here is vital to, all right, this is the culture we're going to have and hold them to that culture. And then as we get into February, that's really when we call it CPR time. That's coach-player relationship time, and so we have a lot of CPR time built in to where we can really pour into the players, get to know them beyond the football field, beyond the weight room, and start really building those relationships that matter. Because if we can get relationships with our players and make those strong, then I think then we can have those honest conversations. We can have those challenges that we go through together. And so that'll be the big key for us. That near term, that's really what we're going to focus on. And then as we get to spring, we'll sort of see what we have.
Yeah. So correct me if I'm wrong, but it's number 1, build your coaching staff. 2, build relationships with your players. Number 3, come on the Flame Center podcast.
Yeah, I mean,
right. By Alcova Mortgage. I mean,
you know what? I would have been here earlier, but Todd said that it's not important. So I don't know.
That sounds about
Todd
right.
Wetmore,
That sounds
our
about
SID.
right. Throw him under the bus.
Looks like he might not have a job.
Coach, you get it all back. All you have to do is look in that camera and say Flame Central Podcast, powered by Alcova Mortgage.
Flame Central Podcast, powered by Alcova Mortgage.
Bam!
That's it.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
this is
now 3 for 3, right?
This is Joe Yock. So former coaches have said how do they pronounce it?
They nearly as well.
We're not going to talk about that.
You absolutely don't care about that. Anything else you
One
have
other
for Coach?
question for you, Coach. I was just thinking about this. You drink from fire hose. Well, not the whole fire hydrant right now, as you said. When you took this job and you saw that all that Liberty had to offer, and this is a decision you're going to make for you and your family to be here, what do you picture Liberty University and the football program being, say, 5 years from now?
Well, I hope we're the standard, on the campus as far as the way that our players conduct themselves on and off the field in this community, in the classroom, that people look at us and so, hey, those guys represent Liberty well. That looks different to a lot of different people, but I want us to have a high standard of accountability. I hope that every time we take that field that we're representing this community and this university and all our alumni, that they watch and say, man, those guys play for each other. They play for a big purpose. Obviously, we want to win. I'd love to hoist some trophies, but more importantly, I hope that when you see us 5 years from now, those people are impacting those young people. Those coaches are impacting and changing lives. That's why I came here to be able to share the gospel of Jesus, and no better place to do it than Liberty.
Last thing for me, and we were talking about this before you came on, we just wanted to know, some of your post-game locker room celebrations have been epic. Where do those come from? Does that continue here? Can that come with you?
That can,
we be a part of it?
Definitely can. And so, each week you have a theme or a word. We have a character word for the week, a character trait. Okay. And so we pick that. What's the word that we want to be about, or it's going to help us that week, and then we have a championship that we play for each week. So every week I give a coach, I assign a coach. I might sign the Flame podcast here.
Okay. All right, good.
And so you come up with what we're playing for. What's the championship we're playing for? And then they get crazy, and then they come up sort of with celebrations. Yeah. And so one, it's fun. Yeah. 2, the players look forward to it, and some of them that didn't get out, were probably worse than the ones that did. So, and so you got to be, I got PETA calling on me one time, so we had to stop. It was a stuffed animal, but they still got mad.
What'd you do?
I can't say it on
this. Come on.
And so, but I guess that's for the next time. Joey Chestnut was there. Joey Chestnut was there. So it's
one of your coaches sent me a couple of them. Like the wrestling one was awesome.
The wrestling we've had some. Coach,
ones. I would love to come off.
We've had some live animals on there too. We didn't hurt them, but we've had some live animals.
Okay, very important.
We did get in trouble. We about burned down a one locker room on a win because we set something on fire. It was supposed to be small and it got a little bigger. But
that's what the Flames do. So
just so you know, Liberty does have its own equestrian center. So if you do ever find need for a horse, mule, or something, you probably got it. So I just want to make you aware of it.
Wait, you had one more story about the first time.
One of the first times I kind of started hearing more about you, obviously going back to Charleston Southern, but 2020, you guys are just crushing it, Coastal. And you were on, tell me if you remember this, it was some kind of national radio show. I was driving around, and they're like, Coach, what are you doing? You just game playing, you scheming, and you're like, actually, I'm changing the brakes on my wife's van right now. Did I dream that? Did that really happen?
We were talking about that. I can't remember. That was in 2020.
Yeah.
And so we were doing well, and she said, I don't care. My brakes need fixed.
Oh, my gosh. That's great.
That was part of it.
Yeah. I was like, this is a normal guy. Yeah. I was like, this guy seems pretty cool. So, glad you're here. Yeah.
Coach, there's a couple of things that get brought up on the Flame Central podcast that we need to know.
Constantly.
And do you have any pickleball game at all?
You know what? I love pickleball.
Oh, gosh.
I do love pickleball. Now, I have not played in a little while, but I do. I was the middle school champion in Caryville, Tennessee, so everybody knows that.
Whoa, we got something here.
Coach.
But that was a long time. But I love pickleball. It's coming back now. They're opening all these restaurants and all these things.
Coach, there's some things you're going to find out.
He has built a complete complex at his house and has an entire league.
It's a league.
And he doesn't even win his own league.
It's the JPL.
Yeah.
I'll
bring you for the member guest.
I'd love to watch.
Yeah.
No.
If
I'm not gonna play right away. I got to watch.
Yeah, we'll get you out. We'll get you loose, get you going back in, get some action going, and then we'll have. I mean, we do it up right, Coach. I mean, we play Tuesday nights under the lights, and then after it's over, we have a different member. There's 18 members. We have a full feast afterwards.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe I can invite your wife for one of the games.
Emily doesn't get
invited. Women aren't allowed. So it's just
kind of like Augusta National, right?
It's
exactly.
Just like they don't want me to dominate because that's what we do in all the other leagues that we play. Coach, thanks so much. We're so excited for you to be here on the mountain and ready for this new chapter.
I appreciate y'all. Thank you for having me on.
Huge thanks to Coach Chadwell for stopping by. So good to finally catch up with him and meet him. I don't know if we need to warn him about like the boundaries he needs, like with Joe. We're gonna need like a security group, right, to like come out and I don't know, tackle Joe trying to be BFF with Coach Chadwell.
Joe keeps sending me all these Instagram reels. That's what Joe does to me. He sends me all these Instagram reels.
Instagram
I wake up in the morning and it's like
just funny stuff.
He was firing these off at 5:30 a.m.
Oh my gosh! You guys don't use Instagram.
The stuff I said is funny.
They are good.
You got to admit.
They are funny.
You got to admit. There's a lot of folks out there that wish they were on Joe Yock's sent Instagram.
More often than not,
they're funny.
I will say, speaking of social media and Joe Yock, you really are taking it by storm because I remember just a few weeks ago, it feels like he was signing the autograph
for what 500 followers.
500,
yeah. For what now?
$6.99.
And he's like saying, "Oh, whoever wants to be my 700." I was like, "Wait a second! How did he get 100 followers in that short amount of time?"
Hey, did you see the bocce ball? I sent you the video of me doing the
that was
not
really
bocce ball. It's a box ball.
Box ball, yeah.
You got
with your hands.
Concentration.
Did you like that?
The headband with the
I'm just looking to improve.
Yeah.
Matt Warner said, Joe, you don't do a great job of talking with your hands as a broadcaster. He said, you got to improve that this offseason. So what do? I go out, I get the box ball. And it's a little headband thing you put around. It's got a string attached to the ball, and you just punch it like that.
Can you imagine him doing that mid-game?
Yeah, Joe, what do you think about this Liberty offense? I'll tell you, Matt, I really feel like they've got a chance. That would be great. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, takeaways from our conversation with Coach
Listen, all I know is I am as excited as I've ever been for spring ball, just to see how this group interacts with the players, just to see what so many of these new players look like. Who knows what the roster will look like even by then. There could be more changes coming. But I'm excited to see this group and how they interact here. And from all accounts, this coaching staff and the people that he's brought in are great guys, number one, and we know the success they've had. So just really excited to get to know them and kind of see how they come put their fingerprint on this Liberty football program.
Yeah, just to see how they practice and the difference in styles. You know, like how they run a practice. What's how Coach Freeze did things obviously one way, and then the new staff comes in and do things. And spring ball is gonna tell you a lot about this football team. And so really looking forward to the pieces of the puzzles they put together, and then what's their style going to be? That's what I'm really excited to see.
What are your thoughts on just the adjustment for all the players and the staff to a new university? Do you think that there will be like a grace period of like a year to allow them, or is it just like, hey, I mean, look at TCU and Sonny Dykes, like they didn't need much time to go to the national championship with that change, But do you expect, like, with not knowing what guys are going in the portal and what the roster is going to look like, your first year in, are you kind of giving him the benefit of the doubt, or are you expecting big things?
I'm still expecting big things. I think they are too. Like, I don't think they want low expectations. I think they expect to come in and win right away. I think the different part of it too is also going into a new conference. So there's that part of it in addition to the new staff and whatever players and the roster looks like. But no, I still have high expectations. I think they do too. There's still a lot of talent on this roster. They are an elite coaching staff. We've seen what they've done, for the majority of these guys at Coastal before they got here. So it's not like they're coming into, the cupboard's bare. Yeah. We have to start at the bottom and work our way. Like, they're coming into a pretty good situation. So now I don't think there's any reason Flames fans should be like, well, I guess we'll check back in 2026. Yeah. Like, they should win this year.
Yeah, I mean, the expectations are going to be high. I mean, Coach Chadwell said it at his original press conference, back in early December, and that was, hey, listen, sometimes it's easier to come a situation where you're part of a rebuild because expectations are low. Like Liberty has won at a high level. Yeah. They provided you with all the resources available to win at a high level. You're going into a conference where you should be the favorite, I would imagine. I haven't looked at any preseason stuff, but I imagine Liberty will be the favorite going in to win the Conference USA. And so, yeah, the level of expectation is going to be immediate.
We need to check in to see if we can do like reporting live on Facebook or something for the spring game. Or just something fun. Let's call it the Flame Center podcast.
Yeah, you know, we had, I know, well, maybe I shouldn't say. There had been some ideas kicked around about even televising it. But, you know, every coach is different in how they go about the spring game and how, you know, so we can figure all that stuff.
We'll okay, enough about football.
We don't need to decide that right now.
The off-season just started.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys just calm down. It's not just about football.
Right.
Men's basketball, women's basketball playing. Let's focus in for just this show a little bit on men's hoops. I think there was a tweet, I don't remember who said it, but like no game is going to be easy in the A side, and then it had like a screenshot of the first two games for Liberty men's basketball. Yeah. Seemed pretty easy, but don't think that this is going to be the entire ride.
No, but I tell you, they look really good.
I know.
They look really good, and what looks really good right now is they're starting to get back to that old defense that they kind of hung their hat on a few seasons ago. You hold Bellarmine to 53, you hold Lipscomb to 48 in the first two conference games. Yeah. Like, when you play defense like that, we know you have one of the best scorers in the country already in Darius McGee. You've got some other good offensive players. If you can play a style of defense like that, they are going to be awfully difficult. And it just feels like they finally kind of, guys have figured out their roles and how to excel in those roles, and it's all just clicking. And now you just, if you're a coach and you're always worried about things, you say, are we clicking too soon?
Right.
You know, and Coach McKay said, we still have plenty of stuff to work on. But boy, they could not have been much better in their first two games.
It's been really fun to see too. Like, yes, they hang their hat on that defense, but how that defense has turned into offense these last few games. And of course, if you aren't coming out to see Darius McGee,
you're missing out.
Live at one of these games, I'm telling you right now, I'll get Matt's media badge and let you in the game. Yeah. It is just unbelievable. Watching him take these shots, and you're like, there is no chance that goes in.
He has hit 3 or 4 shots this year that I've never seen one hit like in person before. Like, he had the shot at Bellarmine, like right before the shot clock expires, where he just threw it straight up 50 feet in the air, and it just, like he was shooting into a silo, just dropped it straight down.
Bounced off the Liberty Tower and then back into
off
the arena.
Tower, off the vines. It's one of the old Larry Bird, Michael Jordan commercials or whoever.
So what do we got for good home games coming up here?
All right, well, funny you should say.
Oh, so it's almost like we gave him that, you know? Yeah.
So we're taping this, what day is this, Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Thursday night, they're at home against Jacksonville State, 7 o'clock. Against a Jacksonville State team you might recall. You may have been there at that one, Joe, last year.
I think I was.
That snapped Liberty's 45-game home win streak and did it. Let's just say they let him know about it.
Yeah.
And so it would that'd be a nice little get-back game if the Flames can take care of business Thursday night.
And then it will be exciting to have all of Flames Nation, including the students back for next week, because there's another game next Thursday.
Saturday,
and
next
Saturday.
Week. Both at home. So a lot of good opportunities.
Yeah, I'm excited to get the students back, because with that empty students section, I feel like it's just not the same.
Difference maker.
It really is. Before we go, fun stories from the holidays that you guys want to share.
I mean, I think we should have another segment on stories from Boca.
Oh my God.
I mean, let's go ahead.
Still got 5.
I got at least 5 stories from Boca.
Yeah.
Okay, you can get one story.
No, I want to tell a story.
Right,
holiday stories. Holiday stories.
Okay.
Can I tell quickly my story before we left for the holidays? I don't think I even told you this. So we're getting ready to leave. Liberty played that noon basketball game. We're hitting the road right after that. So I run home. I'm like, we're making great time. We're going to get out of the house quick. And so everybody.
Well, tell why you were getting on the road earlier.
Because this winter storm is coming. We're trying to get to Louisville so we can leave early and beat that. So the kids are already in the van. They're ready to go. We've got them in. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to do the responsible thing. It's supposed to get really cold here while we're gone. I'm going to turn our water off. So, any pipe issues, whatever, it doesn't just, we're on a well with a pump, and it just shut it off. All right? Responsible.
Do you know
I go,
No.
twist the knob.
I don't know this story.
Water starts spraying everywhere. It won't shut off. It won't shut off. Water's spraying out.
As you're turning the knob off.
As I go to turn it off, to shut it off of the well, it starts spraying everywhere. I'm yelling at Xana. we're bringing every towel we've got. I'm gonna have to call a plumber. We're not gonna be able to leave town.
Oh my gosh.
So I run and shut the breaker off to the pump.
There you go.
And so then I'm turning on the showers and the sinks to just drain it. So we drain it all. Finally, we're like, forget it. We're just leaving. We'll figure it out when we get home. And so we go on our trip.
So Matt now needs a new home. If you're looking to buy a new home,
so we go on our trip.
I
thought Joe will take care of me. He's not a cranky guy. He'll help me out. So we go on the trip. We're driving home then this last Friday. We're shooting it all one shot, 15 hours in the car.
Oh.
And I'm thinking, boy, a shower would be awfully nice.
That's a lot of warners.
Like a shower would be awfully nice when we get home. The wife's like, maybe we check with our neighbors if we can use their bathroom, if we can't get the water thing figured out. My dad had told me a couple of little tips like, here, tighten this up. Maybe that'll do it. And you know what? You know what? Went in there, tightened up what he said, turned it on.
See?
Beautiful. Worked perfectly.
Get out of here.
Was able to shower. We could drink clean water again.
And you
it
didn't
was
have to
beautiful.
spend money
Did
on a
not.
plumber. That's what this whole story is about.
Did not have to spend money on
this
a plumber.
whole story is about him not having to spend money on a plumber.
If you didn't have a happy ending to your story like Matt and the Warners having water, and let's say your house flooded or like you want to move or buy a new house.
You live in a swamp and you want to move out.
You live in a van down by the river.
Right.
I have a guy for you. His name is Joe Yock, and he's part of the Alcova Mortgage Machine.
The lean green mortgage machine.
Same thing.
Yeah, so any folks out there that having a stable, steady job helps.
Right.
Okay, that's
sure.
If you're living in a van down the river, that's fine.
That's fine.
But having
maybe
a good
steady income,
steady
kind,
down by the river.
That girl.
So if you want to reach me, well, la-di-da-da. That's one of my favorite lines.
So off track so quickly.
So if you want to reach me, Joe Yock, Jauch, go straight to the Google machine, put it on the Google, and it'll pop up.
I've tested that out just to make sure it works. It works. It does work.
It does work.
And then I send you, I get your email address, I send you a little link, a little linkski.
Yep.
You send you a little linkski.
Yeah.
It's just like, you send it to you, and boom, you're like, boom, boom. And then we're on the phone, we're making things work, you're comfortable. Oh, we got a game plan, and we're off.
He's sending you Instagram reels.
Next thing you know, you're on my Instagram reel.
Right.
Okay, one more quick story while you think of anything quick from your holidays. My mom lives on a small lake outside of Richmond, so it completely froze over.
Oh, yeah.
And Stanley is used to, Stanley's my dog.
There's not a turkey bag in this story.
No, there's no turkey bag. Stanley,
that was disgusting.
That was disgusting.
I took him to the vet before we left for my mom's, and he was 110 pounds. So I'm like, does that mean he needs to lose weight? And they're like, well, he was full grown at 87 pounds.
Nice.
So I'm like, okay, whatever. You don't know anything. So we're at my mom's at the frozen lake. So instead of like him being able to swim, I'm just throwing the ball like on the ice, like on the lake. And he's just kind of like skating on the ice or whatever. Well, he falls through.
Oh, boy.
110 will do that.
That's
Four legs across the ice at 110, you're going through.
He falls through, and I literally, thankfully, it was right by the dock, and I was able to like pick his lion mane's like fat around his neck and like pulled him up.
Yeah. This is animal abuse. You need to thin that dog.
I have him on a complete diet. Both of us. I can't even. I can't even.
We're doing it together.
Like, if I'm doing it, you're doing it. Yeah.
You and me, buddy. I can't even fit in my wedding dress, so we'll see how that goes. Joe, you got time him.
The only story I can think of from the holidays would be a lot of yaks around. My wife's family, the compound, everybody's, and a lot of time spent over at the yak house, and so all through the holidays. Well, it turns out to be New Year's Eve, right? And so the ball games are on, right? And I decide I'm gonna roast a couple chickens on the smoker, right? Okay. And we're gonna keep it light, right? We're gonna keep it light, right? And then I did a little lamb. Oh, I did a little lamb on the smoker, and so we're gonna keep it light though, and I have a little leftovers, right? So next thing, so my wife's like, I'm exhausted. I'm not doing anything New Year's Eve. Let's just watch the games, keep it light. And we had her brother over, wife, their family over. And the next thing you know, Ben, our son, rolls through with all his buddies, all their girlfriends, and it turned into a party. I mean, we were up karaoke at like past midnight. We had a karaoke machine going. We're singing, we're dancing, we're doing
the lamb chop the farthest.
We're watching the ball games. Were incredible. Right, the kick goes. How incredible is that? That the kick happened in 2023 at Ohio State, Georgia. Ohio State, Georgia. Happened in 22. He kicked it, missed it in 23. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't know
So
that.
as a ball, they have a thing synchronized up where it's him kicking the ball snapped.
Yeah.
They got the ball dropping.
Yeah.
As he kicks the ball drops.
Yeah.
2022 into
That
2023.
is actually really
and the
cool.
field goal is called miss in 2023.
Wow.
That's actually
So we're
really
watching
cool.
that, and then I ended up staying up till 3 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
All right. Well,
It was a long-
glad
but
we
it was a
have
lot of
again,
fun.
Yeah, good.
boundaries.
It was just
Good.
good, clean fun.
Yeah.
I also found out that I not only won the Flames fantasy draft, but I also won our office's fantasy
Fantasy
football. Like
She
She
really?
found out days later. She did. So that's what makes it even worse.
I didn't know we were in the playoffs yet.
She didn't know we were even in the playoffs.
Hey.
Listen, at the draft, I had I was like ranked 11th. So you can just see how good I am at
Matt, listen
just
to me.
this
Matt,
league
Listen to
stuff.
me. Listen to me. For next year's fantasy football, you're in charge of that
Right.
operation.
We're gonna
right?
revamp
We
it.
got to
Oh my
revamp
gosh.
some
We're gonna
things
revamp some
because we got to have some
No,
mid-season.
absolutely.
We got to come up with some new rules.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We're working on it. We have the competition committee.
Get the
working on it.
competition committee
You-
together.
oh, do you hear that? Sore losers.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for listening and watching this first Flame Central podcast.
It's 2023.
Baby.
Baby.
Powered by Alcova Mortgage. It was last year. It is this year. It will probably next year as well.
Many years
For
to come.
many years to come.
Many years to come.
For Matt and Joe, I'm Emily. We'll see you back next week.